Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wagers on Campus, week number 12, college football. We are back, baby. Thank you for checking us out and tuning in. We really appreciate you listening. And every single week, Burns and I are here breaking down the college football slate. And today we are talking week number 12. We're going to be recapping what we saw happen in week 11. We're going to be covering 6 big games, 5 games we feel are of note, 7 games the sickos are looking at. Mac Messiah rolls on this week with a light slate of 2 games. We have a teaser, a pleaser, and a quad box parlay. And then we're going to send you out of here with some early plays. But thank you again for tuning in and checking us out. This is Mayor, and I am here with Xander.
Hello. How are we?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. It's Wednesday, and college football continues to roll on, so I'm doing good. How are you?
Roll on. Roll out. Great, man. A lot of things are chapping my ass this week, so can't wait to get into that. I think I've discovered the solution to college football, and I might be the savior. This might be my sole purpose in life. I might be remembered through history. And also, just this might be a solar eclipse type underdog parlay type week of alignment, and can't wait to get into it.
Well, we do have the Northern Lights showing out this week.
Whoa.
Interesting. All right. Well, before we dive into week 12, we're going to talk about week 11. Real quick recap last week. I'll start. I went 5-7. Not my greatest work of all time. Down 1.6 units. That brings my season record to 50, 54, and 3. My lock did cash. I believe that's 3 or 4 locks in a row. That gives me above 500 on the season to 6-5. And then you, Xander, 13-8. Great week. Up 4.1 units. Put your season record at 108, 96, and 2. Your lock lost. So you're 6-5 on the season with your locks. Any thoughts from your betting card last week?
First of all, it's typo by me. My lock won. Another 2-0 week by the locks there. Yeah, I was on Texas Tech, if you recall. So
yes,
both 6
that's
and
right.
5. So my bad on the typo there. Yeah, easy locks. 2 easy locks. Yours won outright. Had me puking in my mouth when you sent me your card, but I can never push back against the lock, and I would eat eggs on my face. I'd have eggs on my face there. That was a great side being on Wisconsin.
Yeah, thank you. I figured they'd have to show up one of these freaking weeks. And Washington just looks so dead on the road so far this year with like their performances against Michigan and Maryland. So thank you. Any further thoughts on your betting card from last week, or should we just keep it rolling here?
Yeah, just a couple uninspired overs there that I was just a little too fired up on. My best bets went 2-2. That's why I didn't have more units my way on a 13-8 week. That Air Force San Jose State, holy shit. And Liberty, Missouri State. I think that halftime score was 7-3 or something ridiculously low. So that was pretty pathetic on my part. Glad I switched off of that. That was going to be my lock, but I said, no, cannot go mid-majors towards the end of the season. Got to give out some prime time plays. Texas Tech was always my favorite bet of the week. Just had to stick with it. Similar with one that I think might be my mega whale lock first 5-unit play of the year this week.
Oh, can't wait for that.
Yeah.
All right. Great. Quad box last week. Canceled.
Nothing. Yep.
Our teaser, you got to be fucking kidding me. 5-1 yet again.
Yep. Only by 5 points, too. Those Mississippi State Bulldogs, man, really fucked us there.
Yeah, Mississippi State was the loser. We had them up to plus 16 against Georgia. and they did not come through. Our other 5 legs hit, but another losing week on the teaser. Damn, we've been so close multiple weeks. That puts us at 2-8, up 1.5 units on the year. Hopefully, we can win another teaser before year's end.
We'll need it to be positive. We got 3 cracks at it. Let's get it.
Please.
Speaking of.
And then we have our pleaser. Please. We lost. Pleasers are tough, but you actually hit on one of your pleasers, huh? Georgia, Mississippi State over 61.5.
Yeah, barely. I mean, by the hook. The final was 41-21. So,
yeah.
Hey, any way you can get home, right?
You got there. Liberty, Missouri State over. Not close. LSU, I had them plus 4.5. So I was at a wedding this last week, and it looked like I was correct about fading Bama. It just looks like LSU is just that terrible.
They're so bad. So bad. Now Spire gets benched. It's they're like stud wide receiver prospect, just dropping balls wide open. Oh, it's just a fucking calamity. It's truly look back at the 2025 season and see Clemson and LSU's and Penn State's seasons and
Seriously.
just be like, what the hell happened?
No shit. And then I had Iowa beating Oregon. That one was close.
Yeah, I live bet that Iowa in the plus 200s range. Dante Moore at the throw of his life. I mean, that's a 1 out of 10 throw.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa should have won that game. Kirk Ferentz not icing the kicker in literal icy conditions is like the most Kirk Ferentz old head. Like if you have Kirk Ferentz, you got to take that type of stuff. Like there are no analytics, there are no new age. It's just old school ball. So I guess you take with what you can. Whatever. So dumb.
Big win for Oregon. Very tough loss for Iowa, but yeah, we'll talk about week 11 here in just a second. But anything else here?
Nope, that's all of our extracurriculars. The Moneyline Dog went 0-4, so don't even need to bring up the graphic. Just all trash. So let's just talk about the recap of last week.
Yeah, fair enough. So we're going to get into your winners and losers from week 11. The floor is yours.
Yeah, always open this up and love to hear your takes on it. Ohio State rest schedule. Did you see this?
No.
Ohio State has been, as we've covered the entire season, one of the slowest moving teams in all of college football. It works out that they are moving at such a slow pace that they're actually gaining an extra bye week in anticipation for an 18-game schedule. With how less of plays they're running comparative to other offenses in the country.
What a wild statistic to track, and what a wild thing that they're doing. You know, this is what teams do today. You know, this wouldn't have happened not even 10 years ago.
Championship teams do this. Now, Akron also moves at the slowest pace, but no need to wait for a bye or a bowl. Won't be making either.
Just Akron catching strays.
Sorry. They could have got us over the win total last night and leave it up to the final game of the season. Not happy with the Zips.
Classic.
Winners of week 11, LSU. You say, huh? How did they win? They look like dog shit. There is a developing story out of Las Vegas, Nevada. A coach whose future was 75-1 to be the next head coach at LSU has now moved 2-1. The favorite in the clubhouse. And back again, Nick Saban is now the Vegas favorite to be the LSU head coach.
Oh my God, really? I thought you were going to say Chip Kelly.
Nope.
Because you said Vegas.
Vegas books.
No way. 2-1? Really?
Yes.
2 to
Yeah.
1 and 2 to 1 implies like a real legit shot of it happening. Are we there? Are you there?
Yeah. I mean, if Alabama doesn't implode here, doesn't fulfill my prophecy, uh, I think that would be the only other school he'd go to is the connection's already there. Uh, that would be hilarious. Not to get Bama back on track, get LSU right back over the hump.
That would.
End his career LSU, a couple championships. Yeah, that was interessante when I heard that. Big winner from week 11. Keep your heads up, Tiger Nation.
Holy crap. Well, yeah. Everyone will keep their eyes open for that one. That would be wild, dude.
Yeah. Yep. And third winner of the week, G5. Look at Tulane bounces back in a big way. Really dominated Memphis from start to finish after a brutal loss to their G5 hopes against UTSA the week before. But Navy loses again. I don't think North Texas is a real contender. It's going to be UCF or USF and Tulane. Now, Tulane, Florida Atlantic, Temple, and Charlotte. So I think they're basically waltzing right into the AAC championship. Get your Tulane tickets out. Still plus 650. I think big winner from last week.
Yeah, huge win. Very big bounce back win after getting embarrassed by UTSA. Then they're on the road on Friday night on ESPN, and they play a great game. So, yeah, huge win for Tulane. And do you think Tulane and South Florida are on a collision course to meet in the championship game? Like, I guess what I'm asking you is,
Yes.
do you think South Florida could be tripped up in these remaining games, or are they going to be good, you think?
No, I think they should be good. I think they're pretty solid, but defense is a huge question mark against good teams. So we'll see. I like the matchup. That's going to be a perfect G5 matchup for the championship. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Losers all tied for first this week. Notre Dame fans, Texas A&M fans, Vikings fans. Somehow all three of these fans have just completely invaded our space, invaded our algorithm, and none of them have jobs because it's all just a complete cry fest 7 days a week, especially Texas A&M fans. Now, this is going to be me talking directly to Texas A&M fans, so listen up. We're now in a 12-team playoff era. Every single week, you are already behind a healthy and winning team. Like you were never ahead of Ohio State, never ahead of Indiana. What do you think that's going to happen? Just beating these mediocre SEC teams is going to jump you? The object of the game is to get into the playoff. That's all. Like this other crap is not a winning mentality. The fake victim, fake underdog story has never worked. These people are weirdos. They're losers. And that's why they're losers of week 11.
Interesting. What are the A&M fans so upset about?
Being third, truly just mind bending. Like at this point, Ohio State and Indiana are going to have to play each other. Like there's going to have to be the Big Ten and SEC champions are going to be 1 and 2 at the end of the season. It's week 11, week 12 now. Like why is there so much outrage of where no one you're not going to rank the playoffs like, oh, where were they sitting week 11? Third? I don't know. So let's just fucking chill. Notre Dame fans too. Jesus Christ, dude. They haven't won since the Reagan administration. And this fan base believes, like, we went on the rant last week. All right, we got that out. It's still true this week. Just my Pitt Panthers just need to hold strong and end this once and for all. But Jesus Christ, you got Jeremiah Love Heisman talk. He's 60 to 1 on books. Like, what are we talking about here, guys? You guys have 2 losses. Let me ask you this, Alex. Would you be in favor of this? How does strength of schedule work when it only favors the losing team. Like the higher team's strength of schedule will never get better with them winning. Ohio State goes undefeated. They handed out 12 losses in their schedule. Notre Dame goes 11-1. That one could be Ohio State, and their strength of schedule gets better because the team they lost to is undefeated. If we look at strength of schedule, it should be strength of winning schedule. That's how it should be. Why should you benefit from your losses?
Totally agree. I hear it all the time when people are like, "Oh, look at the Los Angeles Rams opponent's record and who they've beaten." And then I'm asking myself, "Well, did you take into account the loss that that team took from the Rams? Like that that means something." So,
I mean, it means everything.
yeah, it annoys me too. Big time.
This is a college podcast, so we won't get into it, but just 9. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, man. Sometimes he's good, like when he's in the state of Michigan. And, 9 isn't meant to be in Minnesota. But when he's close to Ann Arbor.
Sure, whatever. We are going to see. Just, what is that? Grass isn't always greener. I think it's just a lot of coping mechanisms. Seeing Sammy D once again pull off an MVP type regular season and a different team. Oof.
Yeah, we'll see. Sam
Big
Darnold
game this week.
Sam Darnold is looking awesome though.
Big game this week.
What, Rams Seahawks?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, brother. I've got
2 phones.
I've got something else for you here. This is a big segment to me, Alex. I worked hard on this, and I got to get a little banner even, just to oh, there it is. Just to make sure that I can watermark this, because I'm going to clip this. For everyone that's watching this, learning, agreeing, being like, oh, wow, this is exactly what college football needs, be sure to follow us, AXSports HQ on Twitter and YouTube. New episodes twice a week. Live show on Twitter every Friday. This is something that everyone's been clamoring for. Everyone hates hearing the arguments week in and week out, hypotheticals, the exploded conferences that have now left many teams not playing each other. And now I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to ask you to reserve criticism on the teams that I'm showing you, and it's more about the layout. And I'm going to ask you your opinion on it just right off the jump. Now, here we go. I'm going to share my screen. And then I'll have a recap for you here. Alex, what I have created here is a same FBS level college football alignment in a way that the cream can rise to the top and we can have a true champion every single year. We're looking at 4 conferences, 3 tiers, and we'll start at the top. The champions tier. Each conference has 10 teams in each conference. Again, do not focus on the teams under the banner currently. This is just a placeholder, but this would be an idea of the teams under the champions. This is the top tier. You are going to have each team play each other 1 time. That's 9 games, 9 conference games. So there is no hiding. And then the non-conference will be 1 FCS, need like a little bye week. 1 rotating schedule, aka SEC will play ACC, Big 12 plays Big 10 this year, and then it rotates. So every 3 years, you'll cover one game from the other conference. And the final non-conference game will be a rotating game of choice, such as could be a rival. And I say could be a rival because that rival could be on your schedule because they're in your conference, i.e., a Michigan Ohio State here, currently in the same conference. Do we have any questions so far on this top tier?
No, sir.
That's right. That's right. Now, I say it's variable because it could be a rival, because here's where we get the true college football fandom. The second tier, second conference, you see all the conferences are the same. 10 teams in each conference. We have the SEC, ACC, Big 12, Big 10, Heritage tier. This second tier will be able to be promoted to the tier above, and we will have a relegation of one team from above to below.
Ooh.
So there is now a vertical alignment, 3 different tiers. Only one. But that's where if your rival gets relegated, you have an opportunity to play them in a non-conference way. Now, this second tier, it's just going to be 10 teams. They will still have an opportunity. The first 2 tiers are going to play in the playoff. 16-team playoff. No conference championships, no conference championships because every team plays each other once. The top 8 teams automatically receive a bid, and then 8 at large. So you can imagine most likely all 8 at large are coming from the top, just in case there's a stellar team down here that's in the second seat. There is an opportunity. Then our third tier, all the legacy division. This is going to have 13 to 14 teams. Bottom place team here cannot get relegated to the FCS, so they will just have a 1-year ban for being promoted the following year. But this is going to be a situation where they play 9 of 14 and same rules as above. But as you can see, the realignment sits perfectly for a potential no argument base set in college football. Nope, that's a slate. There's the rule set. And I'm wondering how anyone could push back on this, because there is meritocracy here that cannot be challenged. Every team plays every team. All the top are at the top. You can argue about which conferences should be in place. Go ahead, do that. It's more about the system. That is my Zan talk for today. I fixed college football. You're welcome. Thoughts?
I like it, dude. It's very interesting. I guess I'd be curious to know why only one team being able to be promoted and why only one team being demoted after a particular season. What if you can easily tell that a team is dog shit and you're like, okay, we need to demote 3 teams?
It's fair, but obviously college football, unlike the other, this obviously draws a inspiration from soccer overseas, but that's a professional league. As we know in college, especially with transfer portal, one team could be so different from the next year over, and that's not even transferring; could just be from graduating. So I don't think it's necessary to demote more teams than necessary if they're all playing each other and there's just one set team that needs to reset, go down, and win at the league below, and have the team that was winning below come up and get a shot at better competition and better league play.
There would also be the question of the teams in the top tier. You would argue in theory that they're going to be playing the toughest opponents. So what if a team like Oklahoma, let's say they're in the top tier and they lose 4 games in the regular season, and then you have Missouri in the second tier and they go undefeated, but Oklahoma is all pissed because Missouri gets in the playoffs. Oklahoma doesn't, but Oklahoma is crying because the strength of schedule is not even close.
Yeah, that's where the 8 conference champions with no conference championship game. So eliminate that whole facade of conference championship game where both teams are going to make it anyway. Just you win the conference because you played all 10 teams, and there's going to be 8 at-large bids. So it's not aligned to a specific. So the top SEC, that 8-4 Oklahoma, could still get in.
In theory, they could.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I think in your proposal, there would be teams who are very much bitching and moaning about being in the top tier and having to play Alabama and Georgia and Florida and Vanderbilt and be like, well, why did Mizzou get to play Kentucky and Mississippi State? Like, I think that would be a discussion.
Also not mentioned, these would also result in 2 home site playoff games, as we could see here. 2 home site. So that would be a benefit. And I think the 8 at-large bids, if we just guaranteed those to the top schools there and say there's no at-large for Tier 2, maybe that's how you fix that.
Right. Like that's your reward for being in the top tier.
But losing 4 games out of 9 is also not a very good team. Let's be honest. You're playing good competition. You have to beat good competition at some point.
Yeah.
4-loss team is 4-loss team. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but if you're playing all the top teams, I mean, as a 4-loss team, are you going to punish Ole Miss if they lost to Ohio State, Indiana, and Texas A&M? And then you have Vanderbilt, who didn't play any of those teams but only lost 1 game. It's a fair question.
Sure.
But
nothing comes without criticism.
But ultimately, your idea is fun. And if college football came out and said, we're implementing this starting next year, I would be excited. And I would say, let's see how it goes.
Yeah. That's obviously playoff option A. I could also be down with just Tier 1 getting an 8-team playoff. I can have each tier get their own playoff if you want to talk about eliminating the scenario you just brought up. Like, let's just not even include Tier 2 then.
It doesn't interest me. Maybe it interests other people, but I don't need to watch the consolation bracket. It's like the NIT. I don't care.
Oh, even if they were separated by tiers, you wouldn't care?
Like Tier 1 has their own playoff and Tier 2 has their own playoff?
Yeah.
I mean, I might watch the games, but at the end of the day, I'm serious, though. At the end of the day, Tier 1 is what matters. Who cares about the Tier 2?
That's fair. So option B is out. Need Tier 2 involved. But Tier 3 can't really guarantee a playoff spot with, just having that competition. So that might need to be I have Tier 3 being an 8-team playoff.
CBI.
CBI. Group of the legacy playoff, the legacy championship.
Right. Ball State hosting a playoff game.
That'd be sick. Means something to them.
Muncie.
There it is. Conference realignment.
Sweet. Thanks, dude.
No problem. Happy to oblige.
Happy boy. Hey, what was the show that you were talking about watching? Sounds like I need to check this out.
Pluribus. It's on Apple TV. It's pretty. It's by the guy that created Breaking Bad. Also takes place in New Mexico, and it's bizarre, but it's pretty electric. Bizarre. It's pretty electric. First two episodes are already released. New episode every Thursday night.
Okay, so you're watching in real time.
Oh,
Understood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No idea what's going on, but it's awesome.
You watching Dancing with the Stars?
Get the fuck out of here. We got games to talk about here.
All right. Well, I'm waiting for you to put it on.
Oh, you brought up the fucking Dancing with the Stars. How am I supposed to concentrate over here?
Yeah, that's fair. It's a great show. No, it's not. All right. Let's get into week 12 big game slate. Can't wait to dive into this. So let's go on and get to it. So we're going to start with the early slate here. Yeah, let's do that. And we will talk Notre Dame taking on Pitt. Just pulling up the updated lines here. And we got Notre Dame laying 12.5 on the road. The over-under is 55.5. What do you like, or what do you think in Notre Dame Pitt?
I mean, I love Pitt right from the jump. Saw that number, completely disrespectful. But then I see Pat Narduzzi get his fucking fat ass up on that podium on a interview on Monday. Someone asked him if this game matters as much down the stretch. He said, "No, it doesn't." Paraphrasing here. We could lose 110-10 for all I care. Last two games of the season are the only thing that matters, because this is obviously not an ACC game. Win the last two games, you're in the ACC championship. Well, Pat, there is this little thing called an at-large bid, and Notre Dame's a team ahead of you in the playoff. And so, yeah, if you do win this game, win the last two games, and lose the ACC championship, it does matter, Pat. So that was concerning hearing that. But we won't ship away our Panthers just yet. Home game here. A defense that has been very underappreciated all season here. Obviously, they have two bad losses to West Virginia, and I guess the Louisville is not a bad loss, but where they're at in the game, the way the game played out, is a bad loss. Both up double digits in both games. That's kind of what I mean by that. You're going to see some crooked numbers, but a lot of havoc created by this defense. Some of the top havoc, a lot of big opportunity rate, stuff rate. And guess who's going to try and run the ball? Notre Dame. Now, I hear you say CJ Carr is a good player. He is. But they showed a couple weeks ago against Boston College in these mud fights, like it can go either way. Boston College didn't have enough power to end up coming out on top. I'll tell you what, Pitt does. In the last few weeks, they haven't failed to get over 30 points all season, Mayor. Their lowest output is 30 against Syracuse. This team is one of the most prolific offenses in the entire country. And this Heinschel kid out of Northwest Ohio Mason Heinschel has been the key indicator, or just key that has really fired up the engine on this Pitt offense. What a move that was midseason. Say something nice about Notre Dame. They've been consistent all year, barring their tough 0-2 start. They've really started to punish some better teams like Purdue and Boston College, Boise State. They're really flexing their muscles now. Navy, which, by the way, we were on that again last week. If it's under 4 scores, lay it. Neither of us put it on our card, of course. But they did look good against USC. I'll give them that. USC, not as strong in my mind on defense, but a comparable offensive type with quarterback and actually running plays here. The only problem was USC turned the ball over 4 times to Notre Dame's 1. So if Pitt wants to follow that, they are going to lose and not cover as well. I think it's way too many points for a home. I don't believe in this Notre Dame team. Pitt will be in my money line dog parlay. And Des Reed, show the nation who you are, kid. What a big game.
Yeah, big game indeed. You wonder if Narduzzi made those comments just to loosen the guys up a little bit.
Playing a little possum?
Right, because those comments were so bizarre that that's almost how you would have to think why he said what he said.
Like just a guy that is being sarcastic but doesn't know like comic relief. So like looked very serious. Is like, would that be along the lines of what you think?
No, I think he was like, I'm just going to go up there and say something so outrageous about this game not mattering that it loosens my players up a little bit if they're feeling nervous or tight about having to play Notre Dame early in the
Great.
week.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'd lean Pitt with you as well with those points at home. Keeping it moving. Michigan taking on Northwestern at Wrigley Field. We got Michigan on the road laying 11.5, a small over-under total of 41.5. What do you think about Michigan taking on Northwestern?
Should be a show note here if you're just watching for the first time. And the graphic, you see those X's? This is our rebelling on YouTube TV and ESPN. And unfortunately, you'll see in the big games and games of note a lot of X's, which is brutal for us YouTube TV holders. Look at all those big game X's, dude. That sucks ass. Get the antenna out, though, because you can get ABC with the antenna.
Okay.
Just a reminder. And also on the ESPN app, if you sign in, you can click the ESPN 3, like if you sign in through your provider. So that does show the ABC game.
Nice.
Programming note. All right. Wrigley game. Listen, we were both on the Trojans last week. Just thought it was a positive matchup on the road. This Wildcat team going out. And I'll tell you what, Northwestern might have a little bit of offense cooking because that first half was impressive. They were hanging around, more than just hanging around. They were showing that they could potentially beat USC. Obviously, out of halftime, USC ended up pulling away, but I was very impressed with what Northwestern was doing there. They've been able to get ahead of the sticks here this week or this season. They've been able to avoid any sort of stuff rate on offense. They have been able to limit explosive plays in a pretty big average here. My only concern is that their run defense, which got ended up getting gashed against USC, is going to be all Michigan does is run the ball. And I'd be surprised if we don't see an academy type game where there's less than 10 passes here. I know that's blasphemy to say from the Michigan standpoint because all they want to do is just they don't care about winning. They care about throwing the ball somehow. Offensive line has been strong. They've been top 15 in the country when running the ball. No surprise there. That's their identity. They have been pretty fair when it comes to stopping the run. So Preston Stone's going to be in a position where he's going to have to throw the ball if they want to stay in this game. A weird field could make things closer than expected. Wrigley Field type game. Weather, I think we're good on weather. That winter sell passed. Everything's melted in Chicago now. I don't know if I'll have a play on this game, Alex. I would lean Michigan, but in the game script, I could see it being like a 13-3 final or something ugly, 14-3 final.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd lean Northwestern plus the points in this spot. I just don't think Michigan has shown anything enough to be this impressive to be laying 11.5 against a Northwestern team that's shown that they can hang at the very least. Games in Chicago, the weather looks decent. Yeah, just a lean. I don't want to trust Preston Stone and Northwestern though. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
So just a lean there for the Cats.
To be fair, outside of that 4 interception opening game against Tulane, he has kind of steadied the ship a little bit, and not as much of a liability against a team that weakness is defensive backs.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we got kind of lucky with the USC side last week. The game totally flipped. I don't know if you were watching
Oh yeah, watch the whole thing.
when USC threw that pick and
Yeah,
the
what a play!
quarterback knocked it out like at the 1 yard line.
Incredible. I mean, that was one of the best plays I've ever seen. Maivia tracked his ass down, put a helmet on the ball, and then even funnier, the Northwestern guy could have recovered in the end zone. Just the dunce of a like the bowl in the china shop. The linebacker comes in 100 miles an hour and just flings the ball out of the end zone for a touchback. So what a play! And then the next play, USC got it out of the touchback, was a 65-yard run.
Yeah,
USC was an instant red zone the other way.
exactly. Like a 14-point swing right there.
Unbelievable.
It really was. All right, we'll keep it moving. We have Virginia coming off a devastating loss to Wake Forest. They're on the road this week taking on Duke. Duke is a 4.5-point favorite at home. Over under 58.5, 2:30 p.m. Central, ESPN2. Initial thoughts on my end here. Both teams coming off tough losses because UConn beat Duke outright. Is that right?
That's right.
Wow.
Shootout, 37-34.
Holy smokes. I think I'd lean Duke in this spot. I think Virginia, finally the wheels came off last week, and I don't know how much more juice they got in them, especially with a short number like this. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Duke's somehow very much alive since that UConn game was not a conference game. So they're 4-1 in the ACC. So that's why this game is on the big game slate. 5-1 versus 4-1. Both teams very much alive for a conference championship, even though Duke is 5-4 overall. When I look at matchup wise, the weakness that we're going to see out of Virginia is going to be the passing game. Bottom 30 in any sort of advanced passing statistics. Uh, they've gotten into these rock fights like 17-16 UNC, 16-9, and that loss to Wake last week is just brutal. And Duke is an offense that's going to be moving the ball. So where Virginia has the strong suit is their pass defense. I don't think it's an elite pass defense. I think Duke may be able to get off the mat. Both teams coming off a loss. Duke at home. Take the Blue Devils.
Yes, sir. That's kind of how I see it as well. Duke just is a team with a little bit more firepower, and they are also at home. All right, keeping it at the 2:30 p.m. Central Time slate, we have the Iowa Hawkeyes taking on USC in Southern California. USC is a 6.5-point favorite, over under 49.5 on the Big Ten Network. I already teased Iowa up to 13 that we'll get into a little bit later on. But, man, for as good as USC has been at home this year, I think we also have to acknowledge who they've played. Played Northwestern, played Michigan State, played Michigan. Iowa, I think Iowa is a good team. I think Iowa is a legitimate good team. I truly, personally, don't see any separation between Iowa and USC from just if we're like ranking the teams. Like, sure, does USC have a more firepower on offense? Yeah, I'd say so. Would I give the advantage to Iowa's defense? Yeah, sure. But your boy Gronowski over at Iowa, he's really started to play good football. And I really feel like if Iowa is able to continue to take their season seriously and they want to close out the season strong after their tough loss against Oregon, that they are more than capable of covering this number and winning this game outright. Because I really do think Iowa is a good team. So that's how I see it in this one.
Yeah, I mean, tough to just get off the mat after a brutal loss that would have propelled your team to a now playoff conversation. but you end up losing the game at home last week. I will say that the rare rain in the forecast in Southern California, something that you have to take into effect, will not be freezing rain like last week, like we saw 65 degrees, but rain there for the USC side. Listen, man, there's one thing that I am been surprised with in this Lincoln Riley led offense, and it's been their ability to really run the ball. They are leading the country in yards per rush at 5.8. 5.8. Yeah. Sorry, number 6 in the country. So it's like a unstoppable force versus an immovable object. And then, of course, they are, number 1 in the country in total yards per game, over 500. It's just, I think that this USC team has been getting better as the season has gone on. And I think Iowa is right there with a similar archetype as Michigan. And USC is not the USC of old where they need to rely on spread offense. They can beat you with a run attack. And I think that the USC team has just become more physical. Everything that I see in front of me is a team that will win by more than 6.5 at home.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't feel super convicted with the Iowa side, and a lot of it is kind of what you mentioned, how they're going to respond off such a tough loss that pretty much knocks them out of the college football playoff. I'm curious. Do you lean under if it's going to be raining and we got a big number of 49.5?
Yeah, I think so. I think USC wins like probably 27-13.
Yeah. All right. That's a good one. Here's a better one. Oklahoma on the road taking on the Georgia Bulldogs. This is arguably the game of the day.
Wrong. You got a little confused there. Which one are you going with? Oklahoma plays Bama. Texas plays Georgia.
No, you're right. You're right. The graphic had me confused. That's why I read it the way I did.
Yeah, yep. Graphic is typo. Which one do you want to go after?
Let's talk about Oklahoma taking on Alabama
Perfect.
at 2:30 p.m. Central. We got Alabama as a 5.5-point favorite at home, and the over/under in this game is 45.5. So, what do you think? This is a great game.
It really is, and this should be our first true game of John Mateer off a bye. It's been over a month and change since his surgery. He should be fully healthy. Now, when it comes to matching up, obviously Oklahoma's run defense is elite, maybe top in the entire country. But that's not really going to matter against Alabama as a team that is not very reliant on the run like they have been in years past. Uh, Oklahoma will need the game script to be like the Auburn game. They've got to get above 6 sacks, in my opinion. They've got to get after the quarterback. And LSU kind of did that. I thought Oklahoma held their own pretty well, persevered, in a situation where they could not stop beating themselves with penalties against Tennessee. And some outlets will say, well, they couldn't really stop the pass against Tennessee, 315 yards. Hold on a second. Up 2 scores in the fourth with 5 minutes to go. They were playing prevent defense. That there was not 300 yards of hard-earned passing just getting worked up and down the field all day.
Yeah, Joey Aguilar was throwing terrible interceptions.
Yeah, so let's pump the brakes there on saying that they got torched. That's a lazy box score take there from that perception of that Tennessee game. The bye week helps with another road game. Oklahoma's 3-0 in true road games this season after a less than stellar performance. But as we know, the reason we got in on this Venables team was the quarterback upgrade. So I wouldn't really take the he's not been good on the road. He's been 500 on the road since he got to Oklahoma. But different teams, different quarterback. If we recall last year, Oklahoma ended Alabama's playoff life in a unbelievable 21-3 game that we were on Oklahoma. Some sprinkled on the money line. This game it's interesting, man. It's going to be a prove it to me Ty Simpson game. The stats are obviously going to eye pop for me when it comes to passing. I see Oklahoma's path to winning this game is controlling the time of possession. Alabama's weakness is defending the run. So finally being able to establish a run would be ideal for Oklahoma, and that comes from the quarterback, who's been very timid lately in running the ball since his injury. So we'll see full go what can happen here. DeBoer in big games this season. Alabama they've been good. At the end of the day, a good, very good team, good to great team wins. Doesn't matter what it looks like. They get the wins. So beating Georgia was tough. Beating Missouri, tough. That Vanderbilt game, the score looks different. Obviously losing to Florida State opening game, it's a different team than it was there. But I look at that South Carolina game. I look at last week at LSU. Something feels off in the dominance that I'm hearing about. So I like Oklahoma's points. I already bet at +7 on Monday. It's down to 6.5. It's even trending towards 5.5. Not sure if I'm ready to rip the money line just yet. It'll be in a parlay, but by itself, I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I see it the same way. I think Oklahoma's defense and Alabama's offense kind of neutralize each other a bit. Obviously, Oklahoma's defense is a massive strength. Alabama's offense, I think that's kind of the straw that stirs the drink for them. I think this game really is going to be decided by Oklahoma's offense versus Alabama's defense. I think if John Mateer and the Oklahoma Sooners offense don't look good again, they ain't going to come out of here with a win. But I really don't think they have to do a ton to win this game, because I think Oklahoma's defense will make stops. I think they will probably force a turnover. And ultimately, I think if Oklahoma can score, I don't know what the exact number is, but if they can get to like 23, I think they'll win the game, because I do expect their defense to play well. So I'm with you. I lean Oklahoma plus the points. Obviously, there is a scenario where Oklahoma pisses down their leg and implodes, and Bama wins by 2 touchdowns. But I trust Oklahoma with momentum off a bye against a Bama team that, although they're picking up wins, as you mentioned, they are not necessarily passing the eye test with flying colors. And it's tough to win these big games when you are a team that cannot run the football. And this is what we're dealing with in this game against a great Oklahoma run defense. So agree. And I lean under 45.5 as well.
Interesting.
And final big game to talk about, Texas on the road taking on Georgia. This is a night game, 6:30 p.m. Central, ABC. Texas, 5.5 point underdog, over under 48.5. Is Texas going to win this game outright?
Yes, they are. What I've seen from this offense the last 2 weeks, the most surprising thing has been the defense. But I peg this Georgia team as a mirror image of Vanderbilt this year. And Texas was just beating the piss out of Vanderbilt for 3 quarters straight and then just fell asleep at the wheel. But when you beat the piss out of a team for 3 straight quarters, usually that means it's going to take more than one good quarter from the other team to win. So they were able to persevere. Georgia's defense limits explosive plays, but they're not creating havoc. Their stuff rate and line yards allowed has been mediocre at best. And when we look at a healthy Texas offense, that's going to involve Arch on his legs, Wisner being healthy again. I think that this Texas team, which, mind you, this is the third time they're playing Georgia in the last 13 months. So, lost both games last season, SEC championship, and got demolished in the regular season game. And I think that this is a staff that's well versed enough to take everything that they were wrong in from those two games, the last two matchups, fresh. Sure, you could say teams are a little different, but play styles are not going to be very different, and they really haven't been. I think you're able to turn that into success. When I look at Texas, tough 2-game stretch there with overtime in Kentucky and Mississippi State. But again, just like Alabama, persevered and really impressed me in what they did against Vanderbilt when it came to offensive performance. Defense is going to be stout. This is going to be the best defense, in my opinion, that Georgia's seen. And I think that this is going to reignite a lot of conversations. 5-unit play, mega whale, lock,
Oh, shit.
Texas money line.
Whoa.
Take it to the bank. Don't need the points.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Yeah, I could see it. Georgia. It's hard for me to put my finger on Georgia. I was really dogging them after their performance against Florida, which I understand is a rivalry game, but the offense just looked so gross. It really did. And then they score 40 against Mississippi State. So I've heard people talk about Georgia as a team that has improved as the season has gone on. I have heard people talk about Georgia as a team where their offense is getting better. I have a hard time figuring out what Georgia is. You, or do you know who they are?
No, this feels like a fool's gold. We talked a lot about that's been our theme of our season is fool's gold teams, and when that will finally come to light. And this feels like not saying that this is a bad team by any means. We're talking about playoff level fool's gold. I just don't believe Georgia is, and I believe that Texas is finding its groove. And in a scenario, it's tough to beat a team 3 times in a row, especially a really good team. And that's why I like Texas. I just like Texas in all the stars aligning, even on the road. I'm okay with that road environment. I think it's completely disrespectful for this line to be 6.5.
Yeah. Overall, I agree with you. Texas is playing better. Seems like they've figured some stuff out. Now it's time to go out and prove it. But they have all the momentum in the world, and like you said, they got to be pretty pissed off because Georgia just keeps beating them. So I like it.
Let's go.
Yeah, man. And then our Week 12 games of note. Yeah, sure. Let's get into it. So we got South Carolina taking on Texas A&M. This is a massive point spread of 19.5. The over-under here is 48.5. Why is the spread so big? I know South Carolina stinks, but oh my gosh, 19.5.
Yeah, but I mean, I could probably pull clips from you saying how bad this South Carolina offense is.
Yeah.
And I mean, Texas A&M could score 21 and cover. Like, that's how bad they've been this season. It's been truly head scratching for sure. But I mean, they have been contending more. Alabama game, they were in that Ole Miss game a little, more than what the score may tell there, 30-14. I think it is a weird spot. Am I willing to jump on a spread this big? Maybe. When we look at advanced analytic categories here, South Carolina is going to be able to contain the run. They're going to be able to limit pass explosiveness, and they're going to be able to keep Texas A&M behind the chains in early downs. Only problem is we've got a bottom 20 offense here. And, I think it's late enough in the season. As much as their fans really piss me off, can't let that deter from the team on the field because the fans don't cash bets. The teams do. And Texas A&M's been solid, man. They've been top 20 in total EPA when passing. I've been middle of the pack when it comes to running the ball, but against the pass, they have really shut teams down. Minus the Arkansas game, and that's where you can take a potential element of duplication here, is if South Carolina can pull that Tail and Green type game plan here with Lenora Sellers. I think that's where you find a path to a potential upset. But and I think the Missouri game is such a tough game to truly recap and review with a true freshman getting his first start in such a difficult scenario. I don't know, Alex. This one has me scratching my head. Are they going to have the Arkansas type game? They're going to have they play Samford next week, Texas A&M. So it's not a look ahead spot. Texas is 2 weeks from now. It's I don't know if it's going to make the card, but right now I'd probably lean towards Texas A&M.
Yeah, for sure. Texas A&M just got to make sure that they stay healthy and take care of business because they are in an unbelievably great spot at the moment at 9-0. Moving on to 2:30 p.m. Central, NC State going on the road, taking on Miami. Miami is a 16.5-point home favorite, over under 55.5. This feels a little rich, right? I mean, NC State, didn't they just wax Georgia Tech?
That's right, they did. And I was with a friend last weekend who was actually a graduate of Miami, and we were watching some of that game. It was 0-0 midway through the second quarter. I was just completely dumbfounded about what the fuck was going on. Miami, Syracuse. This team is just starting slow. You've called it out before. How can you believe in Cristobal to blow out good teams, to show up against good teams? Like that Notre Dame game week 1 just feels like a premonition of like maybe the kids were just in the offseason, just found all the motivation they needed in that. Then you get into the season, you have to see this dunce every day, and you're like, ugh.
Right.
I don't even know how to describe this Miami team.
I know how to describe them.
Yeah, how do you do that?
They are the Green Bay Packers of college football. They play with their food. They have a good defense, but something's holding them back, and they dick around, and it costs them.
Yeah, they play to their opponents. Yeah, I mean, defensive profile just doesn't bode well for a matchup against NC State. Miami's allowed explosive plays all season. They do create a good amount of havoc, but a mobile quarterback like CJ Bailey, I would like to see NC State keep it within the number here. Like they could pass the ball, they could get it around the yard. I like the over here too. Really like the over here.
I like that. You think NC State covers the 16.5?
Yeah, I like NC State to cover. I like the over.
All right. Say less.
Rivalry game on deck on short notice. Oh, never mind. This is NC State. NC State can't be looking ahead to Florida State.
And NC State
false alarm.
And NC State didn't play. They haven't played since Georgia Tech, right? Like they didn't play last week.
They're off a bye.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I might have NC State on my card. That seems like a ridiculous amount of points. All right, 6 p.m. Central. We have a very interesting game here in the Big 12 where we got Utah going on the road, taking on Baylor. Utah's laying 7.5. The over-under is 60.5. 6 p.m. Central, ESPN2. Oh, boy. I'm curious to hear your thoughts in this game.
Yeah, I was actually curious to hear your thoughts. How about a little jinx there? Because this one has me a little weirded out when I look at these two teams. Like, I think Utah has found what they needed in the beginning of the season versus Texas Tech. Didn't quite have that. They're starting to click, and what I would expect out of a playoff push from this team. Just beating the brakes off of everyone. And then that tough loss to BYU was also kind of shocking in between beating the brakes off everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, who is going to show up is the real question. This is their first road test since BYU. Baylor has the offense, but when you shut down, we know Baylor doesn't have the defense. So, if Utah is able to contain Sawyer Robinson early, that number is not big enough that I'm going to trust Utah's defense to travel here to cover a single-digit number. But I know that it could also bite me in the ass, and Baylor could win outright.
Yeah, 100%. I'm in the same camp. I want to trust Utah and lay the 7.5. They are clearly the better team. You do have to wonder, and I think this is my big question. No, it's actually not. I have questions about Utah's defense traveling here in this spot because Baylor, although they have been sick for a lot of the year, they have shown the ability to put up points. And then I also question Utah's offense because they've been scoring points at home, but on the road, not quite as much. Golly, that's a tough game. I don't think I'm going to have a play in this one, but I could see it going either way.
Yeah, that's fair. Totally fair. Yeah, I mean, Utah's pass defense has been stellar, but their opponents' passing percentage has been one of the lowest in the entire country. So they have found game scripts where they're playing teams that aren't pass first. So this is going to be one of the first true tests of like a very pass first offense. This might be like a solid live game to bet on.
Okay, I have my thought. I just needed a minute. The Utah offense needs to show up and do their job because I do think the Utah defense will keep it a game for as long as they can, whether that's comfortable or if it starts, all of a sudden it's, 13-13 in the third quarter and you're putting too much pressure on your defense. I don't know. But do you like what you've seen enough out of the Utah offense to trust them on the road in this spot or no?
Well, yeah, 13-13 would be stunning. I was going to say my lean might be Utah team total because I think that's the one thing we can trust the most. Baylor could keep up with that, but I think we can trust Utah to get to the team total first and then abandon the spread or anything else.
Okay.
That's what my side would be.
Maybe lean Utah minus the points. They are the superior team. All right. 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Central, ESPN, Florida taking on Ole Miss at the Grove. Ole Miss is laying 15.5 against Florida. The over-under is 53.5. Oh, boy. Florida just got the brakes beaten off of them in Lexington, Kentucky last weekend. And
Unreal.
Yeah. I take it you watched that game?
No, didn't watch it down, but it's just unreal. I mean, that was a fucking shit pumping.
Yep. And now they got to go on the road and take on Ole Miss, a red hot, very good Ole Miss football team. I don't know how I could take Florida plus the points in this spot. I would only could look to Ole Miss unless you're about to tell me, drop some knowledge on me.
I don't know. I don't know how you could either. There's no way you can trust a team that just got mollywopped by Kentucky. Like, that team is just in full disarray. The only thing I could say is that Kiffin is basically a shoe-in to coach Florida. So maybe this is ultimate villain move, and he just kind of coaches the worst game ever, and then basically forces Ole Miss to fire him. Just getting into reality TV, just unrealistic, just timelines here. No, I don't know how this should be a complete beatdown. Like that number only being 16.5. This might be another team total. Like we can't even rely on Florida's defense anymore to hold out if you're letting Kentucky get in the 30s, dude. Maybe that's embarrassing enough for these kids. This is going to be an ultimate show me, but I think it's one of those games where it's like, bet Ole Miss and prove me wrong. But if you're on Florida and you're like telling people about it, they're going to start looking at you weird, like, ugh. Like this guy bets college football. He's on Florida plus 16.5.
Yeah.
They're down 50 at half.
Right. Is that a sure thing, by the way?
What?
Kiffin?
Minus 300 the last I saw.
Because of the money?
I think the ability to build a more consistent winning program, location,
Resources.
What am I looking? Pedigree. It's just like there's top SEC program, mid, lower. Say Ole Miss is mid, so this is a slight promotion.
Man, I hate that line of thinking. I understand it, I get it, but I hate it. Like, who's the team favorited here by 16.5 points? Not Florida.
Sure. But which team has Tim Tebow statue out front?
The Gators.
Exactly.
It would just hurt my feelings if I was an Ole Miss fan. That's all I can really say. To keep it as G as possible, it would hurt my feelings.
Yeah, sure. Pussy.
All right, man. It's Movember. This is men's mental health.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I've got people like you on the streets.
Sorry, I forgot you're a fragile young boy, Fade King.
Yep. Parents always called me sensitive growing up.
Oh no.
They didn't say it as a compliment.
G-rated pussy. That's how you call someone a pussy, G-rated.
Yeah,
he's just sensitive.
Well, this has gone off the tracks here real quick.
Look at what the Gators have done to us.
Let's rein it back in. Let's talk about your Ohio State Buckeyes, who are at home hosting UCLA. Spreads at 33.5. Over-unders 48.5. So try to do the math on that one. 41-7. What do you think?
Exactly right.
Right.
Nice. I think it's 40.5 to 8.5 or something like that. The first thing I saw with this and the news coming out about prolonging drives and extending everything you can, I just thought take UCLA just on the sense of what we saw last week. Added Ohio State to the card. Purdue and the refs backdoor us so badly. I don't know if you saw that. Just a brutal drive extending flag late in the game. Purdue gets in the end zone.
Okay, I missed it.
Yeah, it was 34-10 final. Obviously, 34-3 was covering. Tough. But UCLA has definitely come back down to earth. Ohio State was able to scheme against Nico pretty easily on a much better offense last year. UCLA, they look good against the backup quarterback in Nebraska, but they 2 weeks ago played Indiana 56-6. Just tough. I think that's a comp here. I think Ohio State's going to do whatever they can to really establish a run game here. And when we look at some weaknesses in UCLA, it's going to be against the run. All bottom 15 against the run in every advanced category you want to look at here. So I would lean under in a very Ohio State controlled game here. Maybe 34-0, maybe a shutout. Or
All
I'm
right.
sorry, 27-0, because I lean UCLA covering.
Yeah. Yeah. Ohio State, man, they're just so dominant. I think they could cover this spread if that was their ultimate goal, but I don't know if it will be in this type of game. Hey, before we move on to this final game on the game of note, what's your favorite MAC play tonight? Because I need to place a bet here.
Central Michigan money line.
God damn it. Out of all the things you could have said against my Buffalo win total bet.
Well, they are. I'm on it too. They suck.
They got to go 3-0 and we cash.
Yeah, that's not happening. They play Miami and Ohio the final 2 games.
Okay.
It's just not happening.
All right, I'm betting it. I'm on Central Michigan.
Yeah, it's a hedge off. So you're technically winning something tonight.
Right.
Central wins, you cut into that win total loss. And if Buffalo wins, you're still alive.
That's not why you placed the bet, though, right?
No, hell no.
All right. Final game here, Saturday night of games of note. TCU on the road taking on BYU, and this game is at 9:15 p.m. Central, ESPN. BYU, a 4.5-point favorite at home, and the over-under is 52.5. Similar to the Auburn-Vanderbilt game last week that gave me creepy vibes. And yes, I know Vanderbilt did cover because the game went into overtime. This spread also gives me creepy vibes. TCU only a 4.5-point dog against, a BYU team that people are talking playoffs up until maybe their loss against Texas Tech last week. But seeing this number, especially a night game where BYU typically shows up and shows out, makes me want to take Josh Hoover and TCU. How about yourself?
Yeah, I don't know. Your boy Hoover has really come back down to earth when I'm looking at this game. I'm thinking BYU is the play. Like, I'm just so in on Texas Tech this season. Now, obviously not preseason. You beat me to that. Got to give you your props. You were on Texas Tech, win the Big 12. I was not. But now seeing everything on the field, BYU losing, I don't think is an indictment on what their program is and where it's at. I just think Texas Tech is a vastly superior team in the Big 12 right now, that they are like one, and then there's like a few spaces of just like any competitiveness. And I think they would be the best in the SEC as well, but we'll see.
Wow.
Anyway, so this game itself, another head-scratching game. It's very tough to win in Provo. I will say that. TCU's past 2 games, though, only getting to 23 and 17, especially 23 against West Virginia. Just where did the offense go? Where did the explosiveness go? Like Iowa State. How do you lose to Iowa State, who's literally a skeleton crew on defense, and you only score 17? That was shocking last week, to be honest. So when I look at this game, I think physicality is going to win with, areas that TCU is truly not competing in right now. And we're talking only 4.5 points. It could be a field goal game, but I think BYU can get over 1 score. I could see them winning by 10 here.
So could I. I'm not clamoring to bet TCU here. Just the line seems weird. Like the line to me seems like it should be more than 4.5 points, but then it is only 4.5 points.
Yeah, it's tough losing, coming off a loss, but these guys don't drink, they don't party, they just work, pray, Mormon around, eat cereal, drink pop. They'll be ready to go in Provo.
All right.
And it's a weird night game too, 9:15. I like it.
Let's freaking go, dude. Sweet. So those are our Week 12 games of note. And now we are going to go into SICKO mode as we talk about the SICKO slate. Starting with Air Force at UConn. We got who's laying the points? UConn?
Yes.
UConn -7. Over under 63, 11 a.m. CBS Sports Network. What are you thinking here, Air Force UConn?
Oh man, Air Force really fucking let me down last week. I mean, where did the defense come from? Just more of San Jose State. Being just a one-trick pony with Scudero, having no capability to run against a physical team. Should have seen that coming. Anyway, this, on the other hand, this guy has been making some noise this year. Joey F word, Bajano. Have you seen his stats?
No.
You have not. He just has a cool. Are you ready for this, Alex?
Maybe.
2,800 yards passing through 10 games, 25 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Holy crap.
Yeah. That's almost 300 yards a game, 0 interceptions.
That's a 25 to nothing touchdown to interception ratio.
Holy shit, you are fucking spot on, dude.
Wow.
There's that Harvard mathematics degree showing off. No, but I mean, he's got over 340 attempts. Like, this is not a check down merchant here. Like, this is a offense that needs to be reckoned with. They are 7-1, or not 1, 7-3. Yeah, 7-3. Big win off Duke. I like the over, baby. Give me an over again. Still believe that this is a team that won't be able to get out physicaled, and Air Force will be able to score as well. 63 ain't scaring us.
Love it. Let's move on to Wisconsin at Indiana, where we got Indiana laying 29.5 points. The over-under is 44.5, a sleepy 11 a.m. Central Time kick on the Big Ten Network.
Beth Mullins has to be on the call.
No doubt.
By the way, speaking of Big Ten Network, back a couple, USC Iowa's on Big Ten Network. What the fuck is that?
That's not cool.
I think Oregon, Minnesota is the CBS game.
Also, I think there are too many people. There will be too many people in the crowd for this to be a Beth Mullins game.
That's fair. That's very fair. Needs to be like Minnesota, Illinois, or like
Yes,
or like a Rutgers Purdue matchup.
that's even better.
Yeah. Obviously, everything on paper is going to point to Indiana winning by 1 million here. Wisconsin, they ain't dead yet. Showing some life. Indiana with a tough, hard-fought battle. What'd you think about Gus Johnson's orgasm on the call?
Par for the course for Gus. I think in the offseason, he thinks and brainstorms of new and creative ways to make these nutty calls. And I think he finally got to pull that out of his bag of tricks after practicing in the mirror for 4 months straight.
That's fair. Totally fair. After getting shut out back to back, Wisconsin's kind of had their way with former Pac-12 teams. 21-7 game in Eugene that they lost, but very much alive, and then beating Washington. So is it just the Pac-12 thing that's maybe they're just unfamiliar with how physical teams can get? Listen, I want to take Wisconsin here over that 4 touchdown. I think they might revert back to not being able to score. Like, Wisconsin's defense has shown that they have the ability to stop teams. It's just really how motivated is Indiana to push it after such a physical game down to the wire versus just getting out of here with a win. So my bet would be Wisconsin or nothing here.
I hear you, man. When you look at Wisconsin's passing numbers from last week, the team, keep in mind, there was 4 different players that threw a pass last week for Wisconsin. Their stats, 6 for 18 for 48 yards.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm with you. I also want to take Wisconsin, but if they can't throw the ball, like quite literally can't throw the ball, no, I don't want any part of that. No, thank you.
I like the under too, 44.5, 11 a.m.
I think I do too.
Like Indiana isn't going to win 50-0.
Yeah, they're dealing with some offensive line injuries. Yeah. The under looks good.
I will
All right.
say though, this is something that's just not traceable, but I have a lot of random college football tweets come around the algorithm, and there was a U of I super fan that was like had a screenshot from like 8 years or however many years ago it was, where Wisconsin hung 84 on Indiana, and they're
Oh,
just like, I was at this game. This game means more to me.
yeah.
Like, so I was like, oh fuck, at Indiana -29 to the card. Like having a history, or you recently allowed 84 points in a college football game and the other team kept pressing. Wisconsin scored 45 in the second half, like 24 in the fourth quarter. Like that's a karma game, comes back around and gets you. So that's also the only thing non-statistically that scares me a little bit.
You think Sig has been shown that tape?
Oh,
Think
big
that's
time.
think that's been brought to his attention?
100%.
Yeah. Me too. I just wonder how much we should be concerned about Indiana after last week's performance against Penn State. I think it's a fair question. I'm not saying I'm siding one side or the other. But is this kind of the beginning of starting to see a team maybe weaken a little bit, or was it just a tough game on the road and hey, they escaped with the win and they have some injuries and we move on? I don't know the answer to that one.
Yeah, I think we found a possible chink in the armor there is stopping a really good run offense. Penn State just kind of had their way. And, you can compare it. You'd expect Penn State, after such a getting physically dominated by Ohio State only a week before, to really just kind of roll over and end the season. So seeing them bounce back was positive, and also a negative for Indiana, not being able to kind of put them away.
Yeah. Moving on, we got UCF going on the road to take on Texas Tech. My book is 24.5 in favor of Texas Tech, over under 47.5, 2:30 p.m. Central on Fox. Obviously, when you see this game, the first thing that you think of is this could be a letdown spot for Texas Tech. They're coming off College game day. They remain at home. They're playing a dog shit team. This could be a letdown spot. But I think when you look at UCF and you saw what they did in their most recent road game, losing 30-3 against Baylor, I just don't think this team has the horses to go on the road and compete with a Texas Tech team who's just red hot and confident at the moment. So I would like Texas Tech here, minus the points personally, and I would also lean under 47.5 because that Texas Tech defense is on a heater at the moment.
Man, aren't they? They look fucking good, dude. They look really, really good. I will say I'm a little concerned about the red zone offense converting field goals to touchdowns, just getting in the end zone again. Like that Houston game, I brought it up earlier. They covered, but I was a little disappointed. And then same with last week. They had so many opportunities to really put a crooked number on BYU and just kept getting stopped inside the 10. And it's concerning going forward when you start playing against better teams. I don't think it's going to be a real effect on them against UCF today or Saturday, but yeah, I actually like the over here. I actually like Texas Tech to kind of get ahead, get out, and I think UCF is going to be able to put up some late points. I think 47 is too low, but I think Texas Tech kind of hangs a 35 or 40 by the third quarter.
Sure. All right. Cool. Now at 3:30 p.m. Nope, we got one more 2:30 p.m. game. 2:30 p.m. Central, ESPN2, Arizona on the road taking on Cincinnati. Got Cincy as a home favorite of 6.5, and the over/under is 56.5. This is an interesting game. Is Cincinnati still? They're still very much alive, right, for the Big 12 championship? Is that correct?
Yes, because their only other loss was to Nebraska.
Right.
So, yeah, I think this matchup suits well for Cincinnati. Obviously getting demolished by Utah on the road. Just got to shake it off, went into the bye week. It is what it is. You're going to get, what is it? Some days you're the bug, some days you're the windshield. That's really what it comes down to in that game.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, it still counts as one loss. Doesn't hurt you any more than that. I think Cincinnati's offense lines up well to outpace what Arizona can do on offense, and I'm not really too scared for what Arizona can do on defense. So I like Cincinnati here, laying the touchdown at home.
Yeah. I'm going to be having no part of this game whatsoever. But it is important, especially for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
To keep their potential playoff hopes alive. So not a bad game by any stretch. I just don't have any plays.
Sure.
2:30 p.m. Am I reading this right, or is this a typo? Big Ten Network.
It's a typo.
Anyway, we got Florida Atlantic taking on Tulane. What are you laughing about?
If you want to be the editor in chief, why don't you? I'll send over the graphics. Starting Monday.
No, I'm not ripping you. I don't want to be the editor.
Just loudly. Am I seeing this right, or is this blatantly wrong thing here?
Yeah, get it off your chest. Let me know. Tulane, 17.5-point home favorite, over under 63.5. That seems like an exorbitantly, I don't know if I used the right word, exuberantly high number there.
Florida Atlantic, fastest moving team in the country. So that's why that number is so high. Defense, not very good. Tulane is going to be able to move this ball. Old Retzlaff. But do they just keep the foot on the pedal? Because I think Tulane's defense is good enough to stop. It's like when you see a team that is constantly moving and like they don't quit like FAU, it's like scary to lay the under on a team like that. Especially when Tulane's kind of been in shootouts and they just need to win and get out of there. So I would actually lay, I think Tulane, will probably win by 3 scores. But who am I kidding? The over is probably going to get to my card.
You love taking the overs if the total is 60 or above.
Oh, big time.
Which honestly is a good thought process because the number is that high for a reason. For the folks that are like, oh, it's so high, I should take the opposite. I don't think that works out more often than not.
Yeah, the high totals, I'll pull some statistics for you, but that is kind of the case.
Right. All right, 3:30 p.m. Central on the ACC network. I think that's correct. North Carolina taking on Wake Forest. We got Wake laying 6.5 points, but a minuscule total of 38.5.
Unreal.
Belichick, defensive-minded teams. Where's Brady?
Dude, all of a sudden, don't let this UNC team get hot. They dominated Stanford start to finish. No, it ended up being a close final. I like UNC, the way they're playing ball on that defensive side in a very non-threatening Wake Forest offense. I like UNC to win this outright.
Well, I mean, you look at them and they beat Stanford last week. They beat Syracuse the week before that. And then they had 2 losses prior to that. One of those losses was by 1 point to Virginia. And then the other loss was by 3 points to Cal. So this team is either playing incredibly close games or winning outright. and you have a Wake Forest team that, is kind of like the same, honestly.
Truly. They have a 10-9 win against Kennesaw State.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, to start the season. In that UVA game, I mean, North Carolina went for 2 to win it. And that was overtime, and it still gets under a 38 number. You go to overtime and still get under a total in the 30s. I think we got to rip the under too out of principle.
I think we do. Yeah, this game's going to be 19-16 Carolina.
Oh, that's close. I'd like
But
a
still.
6-3 San Diego State Northern Illinois final.
A little bit more sweat free.
Yeah.
All right. And then 9:30 p.m. Central Time, Boise State taking on San Diego State. Boise laying 3 on the road. 41.5 is your total. CBS Sports Network.
Yeah. San Diego State just got mollywhopped last week by our boys on the Big Island. Hawaii, dude, kind of alive for the Mountain West. And then Boise getting throttled by Fresno last week. But I think, looking it up right now, I think Maddox Madsen got hurt first quarter.
Okay. And that was 2 weeks ago, right?
That was, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to miss the San Diego State game, so that's huge. So I'd actually lean under here, 41.5. Talk about that's the last game of the night. You can go to bed. You don't have to watch that one if you're betting the under. Because that's just pure chaos on the old heart.
Yeah. San Diego State, disappointing that they got blown out by Hawaii last week, but it is pretty cool that Hawaii might have a chance to all of a sudden be back in this conference. So shout out to Hawaii.
Big time shout out to Hawaii. Yeah, I mean, 7 points against Fresno, 24 against Nevada. Those are two teams you got to be absolutely showing up and beating Boise State. So I just I truly like the under here on two teams that are going to slowly move the ball, especially Boise, very beat up. There goes Toledo to the 50-yard line. First down, Rockets. DeQuan Finn also out with a unspecified illness, aka a little too scared to play his old team. So I would lean Toledo live, however you can get them.
Okay.
See how that plays out. But yeah.
Toledo live.
Yeah, man. Defensive battle to close out the night.
They're -7.5.
I would take it.
All right, we're in. You're the MAC expert. Speaking
Thank
of that,
you.
that is a perfect segue to our next segment, the MAC Messiah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, obviously already released Tuesday morning, MAC plays. So we just got one more game on Saturday. That's Ball State versus Eastern Michigan. Two teams that are completely Jekyll and Hyde. They just mirror whoever they're playing. So when Eastern's playing good teams, the under, but when they're playing bad teams, it's an absolute shootout. Ball State the same way. I think both these offenses will be able to move against two of the worst defenses in the entire country. So we're betting the over 50.5. Here's our slate from this week. Went 4-2 last week. Nice little win on Saturday. So really starting to find our groove in the MAC. 1-1 on Tuesday night. The win just went away. Tough in that Akron game. Being on the under, both teams scored 35, went to overtime.
Yeah.
On the pod, I said if there's no wind, I like Akron team total over again. Run it back, and obviously that would have hit.
Yep.
These weathermen are pieces of trash. So that's the Mac Messiah week. Catch us on. I'm going to release it Monday morning this week, as you can see in the bottom graphic.
Awesome. Yeah, I was on that under that you gave out last night. That the Ohio Western Michigan.
That was
under.
a rocking chair. That was nice.
Yep.
7-3 at half. That's what you love to see when you bet an under. A missed field goal from 24 yards.
Exactly.
You just love to see those.
Yeah, I didn't watch the full game, but I watched parts of it, and I did see the missed field goal. It was great.
Yep. Bang.
And you almost kind of expected it watching a Tuesday night MAC game.
Yeah, exactly. Said this one's a little too much of an angle, too close. He might fuck around and miss this one.
Exactly.
I do have one ugly game to talk about that you're going to be like, huh? That's just like weird how it worked out. Where is? Oh my god, it's not even posted right now. This is bullshit. Tennessee Tech plays Kentucky. If you're unaware, Tennessee Tech is currently 10-0 in the FCS,
Ooh.
fighting for an FCS national championship. Kentucky off a massive, massive win. I'm waiting for the line to come out. I want to look at Tennessee Tech first half, tie or win, as an ugly, ugly bet. I bet it's going to be like 9 to 11 to 1, maybe 12 to 1.
No, you're giving these books way too much credit.
You think so?
Yeah, I think you'll get 5 to 1.
Ugh. A tie, on the other hand, might be like 18 to 1.
Exacto. Yeah.
Just tie first half.
Hey, what do you think of Penn State laying 6.5 at Michigan State this week?
You know what? There's so many games on the slate that I was looking into. I purposely avoided that game just because I have no interest in watching it. And yeah, what do you think about it?
I kind of think Penn State's still good to go with Katron Allen and Nick Singleton, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Quarterback last week looked decent. Defense absolutely held their own. They got to go on the road here, play Michigan State off a bye. But, I mean, you've talked about it. You've talked about Michigan State being just incredibly inept this year. And, hell, Penn State almost beat Indiana, the number 2 team in the country. Like, let's just keep it real here. I like Penn State. I think Penn State covers the 6.5. Yes.
Whoa. Oh shit. I think that's fair. That's totally fair. I've got
Katron and Singleton combined for like, I don't know, 250 or something.
250.
Yeah.
I love it. I've my money line dog is my. Oh my god. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Interception in the back of the end zone.
Oh, wonderful.
Touchback. And
All
one of
right.
the worst plays I've ever seen.
Awesome. I will Venmo request you now.
Oh, fuck, dude. God damn it. What are we doing? All right, just let me pull up my money line dog parlay. Do you have your pleasers? Let's talk about a pleaser. We'll talk about a teaser. We'll get everyone out of here.
Yeah, man. Sounds good. Pleaser? Yes, sir. Let's do North Carolina to beat Wake Forest outright.
Okay. That's right on the 6 number. I like that. That's easy enough to make.
Yep. And then as far as the second pleaser goes, you go in Oklahoma?
Texas 5-unit play obviously has got to be on the pleaser.
Give me Oklahoma.
Whoa. Oh, mama.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that would put our fucking DraftKings is a little weird about it. Yeah, okay. I'll make that, and then let's talk about our teaser, and then I'll pull up the pleaser bracket.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll start first with my teaser. Just talked about Penn State. I'm going to tease them down from -6.5 to a pick 'em. I like that. I think they'll be able to beat Michigan State. Sorry, Rick. Iowa at USC. Yeah, this one's going to have to go off the graphic. I'm going to have to give you another one on this one,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Okay. Do you have
And then,
something out? What are you going to do?
yeah, actually, I do. Let's tease NC State up from 16.5 to 23
Okay.
instead.
Yeah, that's a great one.
And then the final pick, like I mentioned, North Carolina, taking them up to plus 13 against Wake. So my official picks: Penn State pick 'em, NC State plus 23, UNC plus 13.
Okay. I love that. I've talked about all of mine extensively today. Uh, SEC heavy, and then fade the Irish. So I like Texas to 13, Oklahoma to 13, and Pitt to 18. Those are all games that are going to be one score no matter who wins, in my opinion. So I think it's just foolish if you're able to put them in a teaser. I would take that 3-play teaser easy, and I'd also throw in NC State if we're going to make like a four-leg teaser.
Yeah.
It's like a confident.
I like our teaser this week.
Yeah, same. We're owed one. I mean, fuck, we've gone 5-1 the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the pleaser here, just to keep it on record, 57-1 payout, 4 legs. I like Ball State, Eastern Michigan over, and then Texas basically down to money line. You've got UNC money line, Oklahoma money line. So basically just a money line parlay with an over pleased up. So 57-1. And then for my money line dog parlay, we'll go through that. That is sheer. Okay. All right. Let me remove. Got a little technicality there. Texas, Oklahoma, Pitt, Northwestern. Talked about it at the top of the show. This is like my solar eclipse lineup. If this happens, I'd be the happiest clam in all of the sea. Everything, Bama, Georgia, Notre Dame, Michigan, all losing on the same day as favorites.
Yeah.
This would be something you'd remember for the rest of. I'd be telling my great grandchildren about this day. And on top of that, $100 pays you 17,800. So
That's just an added bonus outside of the story.
exactly.
Man.
So if you like 20,000 right at the holidays, boy, do I have a parlay for you.
Sweet. It's got a shot.
Anything else for? Do you have any games on your slate so far?
Yeah, I'm on Penn State. I'm on NC State plus 16.5, and I locked in a teaser: Oklahoma and Texas, both teased. I've got the worst number here. Got a 6-point teaser, both at plus 11.5. That is minus 125.
Wow. Okay, that's good. I like that because that Texas line is scooting. So is Oklahoma. Man, you could have got that 12.5 a couple weeks ago.
I know.
All right, so I obviously already have my MAC plays. Add Eastern Michigan, Ball State over to that as well. I'm on Oklahoma plus 7. I'd take it to all the way down to 3.5. I'm on Texas money line already, and I like Pitt money or not Pitt money line. Pitt spread for the card, like NC State spread for the card. As of today, I like the over in Air Force Yukon. And I like as well. I like the over in Texas Tech UCF. I like the under in UNC Wake 38.5. Also like Wake. Add that to my card. Or not Wake. Wow. Was that a Freudian slip? Fuck. UNC. Fuck. I hope we don't go back and see that.
You're fine. Chin up.
Chin up, kid. They're going to win. 8-6. USC minus 6.5. That's going to be in the best bet category as well. And then stay away. And then Northwestern Michigan, probably going to bet the under 41.5.
Okay.
So that's about 8 to 10 plays I've got already. I in a couple more totals. But as of now, pretty set with that card. A lot of big games, and especially that 5-unit play. Biggest play of the year so far on Texas money line.
Ooh, on Texas money line.
Oh, also, this is not a play for this weekend, but it is a play I think you should be eyeing. Texas is currently sitting at 30-1 odds to win the national championship. I think that's incredible value for a team that controls their own destiny. They play Georgia and Texas A&M yet to finish out the season. They win both those games. They are going to be in the driver's seat. They'll be in the SEC championship. I mean, they could even be a 2-loss team getting a bye with those caliber of wins and winning the SEC championship. So go see if you want to. And also, Miami, Florida is currently the top rated ACC team. So that the committee loves Miami enough to put them up there. 100-1 to win the NCAA title. If you're in a cash out situation, I'm not saying they're going to win. They do have the talent, don't have the coaching, obviously, but it's a weird number for a team that's the highest favored in their conference right now.
Yeah, that's what we call good value.
Correct. Good value. Anything else?
No, that's it. Can't believe we're already going into week 12. This is the third to last college football weekend of the year as far as regular season slate goes. So enjoy it.
Yep. And we got a couple new followers. View counts going up. So thanks to everyone that's tuning in. Somehow tailing us, or maybe fading the Fade King. Maybe they got word. Fade King is alive.
Yeah, just don't fade my locks.
That's fair.
That should
technically if you acknowledge that you're the Fade King, you're technically giving out winners, telling people to fade you.
Right.
7-5 last week for people that faded you.
Yeah, that's facts. All right. Appreciate you guys.
Bye. Love you.